Welcome to BFaith. We will be reviewing Horizons Preschool for Threes. This is the teacher's guide. Here's a table of contents. Now here on page 8, it does give you a sample of the 5-day schedule. It does also say that you can do the curriculum either 2 days a week, 3 days a week, or 4 days a week. There's a sample on the bottom of a 5-day schedule. And here's just a breakdown of how it gives you a sample of how you can incorporate science with the curriculum. So for science, it just states to go on a nature walk. As you walk, ask the student to look at or touch different objects. Objects the students can point or touch include trees, birds, grass, bug, a dog, or a leaf. For language art, the student should learn the following poem. Actions can be used to help the students remember the poem, repeat the poem in lessons beyond this one. And here's the poem. To teach shapes to the child is to point out circular objects around the house. The student may see circles in plates, glasses, and sink drains. Have the student find other examples of circles. Now the way to incorporate learning colors, one of the colors God made was green. Things that are green include frogs, grass, leaves. Use the color green to draw a picture. And for the health and safety category, it states, work with the students on personal hygiene. Remember that as God's children, we must take care of our bodies. One way we can do this is by washing hands after playing outside, petting animals, or using the bathroom. Talk about washing in between fingers, duration of washing, and the amount of soap to use. This will be a lesson you will want to repeat. Now let's backtrack over to the Bible lesson. Here's the Bible story reader. Here's the table of contents. So for lesson 1, Genesis 1:2, creation. Long before you were born or your parents or grandparents were born, God created the world and everything in it. God spoke, there was grass. God spoke again, and there were birds flying in the air. God created all the trees, mountains, and animals in the world. God also created 2 special people. He named the man Adam. He named the woman Eve. He created a beautiful world for them. God also made this world for you to enjoy. And then it has the thought questions at the bottom. It asks to have the child look at the picture of how the artist viewed God's creation. What types of plants do you see? What are some of the animals in the picture? You're going to ask the child, if you were to draw a picture of God's creation, what animals would you include? One of the jobs God gave Adam was to name the animals. Adam looked at each animal and gave it a name. He saw an animal with a long neck and called it a giraffe. He saw a friendly animal that wagged its tail and called it dog. God gave Adam his name. What name did your parents give you? Your name is very special. And then it concludes with a prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for making the world. Thank you for making animals like dogs, cats, and dolphins. Thank you for making people to live in your world. Amen. So it's nice that it just gives a little portion of the Bible. It asks questions here just to get them involved in the picture, in the Bible verse. And I like that it concludes with a prayer. That way your child can get used to praying after reading the Bible. Okay, we're going to go over the worksheets here for lesson 1. And here is the word cat. You're going to have the student trace the letters with their finger, state the letter, and then pronounce the word for them, and just have them color the cat. And here is worksheet 2. They're just pretty much matching the animals. Worksheet 3, it states, count each group of cats, circle the picture of one cat, color the cat. You're going to have the child circle the one cat and then just color this cat. For worksheet 3, it says draw a picture of yourself, have an adult help write your name. And you can, the parent can trace the letter lightly of the student's name and just have them trace over what you wrote. And then lesson 4, have the student color the birds, lion, and fish on the scene of creation below. For worksheet 5, in the student workbook companion, it states, cut out the picture of the earth, punch out the smaller white circles. The student is to lace a circle around the picture of the earth. And then we're just going to start flipping through these lessons. For lesson 2, same concept as the first one. Have them trace the letters with their fingers for dog, pronounce the name, have them color the dog. And here, circle the largest dog on the sheet, color the largest dog. You can have the child color the largest dog. Same concept, circle the group of 2 dogs. So they'll choose the group with 2 dogs, circle it in color. And here's another matching of colors and shapes. Student workbook companion worksheet for lesson 2. States, have the student point to the eyes, ears, nose, chin, cheeks, hair, and mouth on the picture. That way they get to learn more about, the body parts here on their face. So that's the end of lesson 2. Math, it states, take out 3 washcloths of squares of toilet paper. Have the students count the squares, count to 3. Again, it looks like it's doing pretty much the same thing with the shapes. Point out square shapes around the house. Have the students find anything that's squared shape. So I thought this was pretty neat. They're going to be learning about their phone number. So either mom or dad's phone number for cell phone, just so that they memorize it in case they need it for an emergency. So I thought this was a good idea for them to bring this into the curriculum. The curriculum has 40 lessons. Here's lesson 30, Jesus walks on the water. Looks like that's the last lesson worksheet of the student workbook. Just provide the memory verse cards and laminate them and just go over them later on. That's it for the Horizons Preschool for 3s flip through. But thank you for watching if you stayed this long, and we'll see you in the next one, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.